Assalamu alaikum friends, my name is Shabir Ahmed. I'm a government teacher presently posted at Government Higher Secondary School Gund. Today I'm going to talk about an important issue, that is how to speak English correctly or how to be the fluent speakers of English. I'll also talk about the methods that needs to be adopted while teaching foreign language like English. For teaching English, the first mistake that we usually do in our classroom is that we start from writing, which is actually the fourth component of language, of every language. In our part of the world, in Indian subcontinent, when a child of class 1 takes admission in an educational institution, on the very first day, we straight away assign the page to the student and ask him or her to write down those pages at home, which is quite against the natural order of learning a language. It is against the fundamentals of teaching a language. As everybody knows that a language has got four components. First comes listening, then comes, speaking, then comes reading, and then comes writing. So, unless and until we're not going to teach the student the way our student learns at home, we are never going to produce the good communicators. We are never ever going to produce the good speakers of any language of the world. If we look at our home, if we look at our own child that takes birth in our family, what he does? He first listens different words from his family members, from his parents, from his relatives, from his neighbors. Then a stage comes when he starts uttering single words like mama, papa, etc., etc. And then a stage comes when he speaks full grammatical sentences. This is how a child learns at home. Similarly, we have to adopt the same methodology in our actual classroom. We have to start from listening. We have to make the students listen different sounds first. Listening leads to speaking and reading leads to writing. So how come it is possible that a child can speak a language if he is not able to listen it properly first? So we have to make him listen for so many months first, then and only he can speak it correctly. Point number one. Point number two is that the methodologies that we apply in our classroom are not going to work. We use the traditional method in our classroom, that is grammar translation method. It has been disapproved by most of the experts around the world. We simply read a page for the students and then translate it into Urdu or the native, language of the child, which is not going to work. Means that if you are teaching English in Urdu, means you are teaching Urdu at that time, not English. So you have to, for example, if you are teaching English, you have to translate English, tough English into simple English. Means that the listening will take place in English and a time will come that the student will speak English because listening is taking place in English. Similarly, if you are, I'm not talking about English alone, I'm talking about rest of the languages as well. For example, if you are, teaching Urdu, you have to speak Urdu at that time. Don't switch over to other language at that time. Yes, occasionally at difficult times, you can translate the things in other language, but not, too much. Similarly, if you are teaching Kashmiri, you have to translate the tough Kashmiri sentences into simple Kashmiri sentences. Means if you are teaching Kashmiri as a language, you have to speak Kashmiri at that time. Don't switch over to other languages. Don't translate the things into other languages. Means if you are translating the things, means that you are killing the spirit of that very language. As you know that the phrases cannot be translated. Once you translate a phrase or a proverb, it loses its sense. Its spirit is gone. So the methodologies, we have to be very cautious while applying the methodology while teaching a language, any language. I'm not talking about English alone. On an average, it has been seen that most of the Indian graduates are not able to speak few sentences on the dice. It is not due to the fact that they are not efficient, they are not intelligent. Rather, it is due to the fact that they haven't been exposed to speaking by their teachers. Ample opportunity has not been given to the students to speak this language, be it Urdu, be it Kashmiri, be it English. So I have observed, as a teacher, I have observed it myself that my students can write down the pages for hours together. But when it comes to speaking, they keep mum. They get stuck. They can't speak at all. So the problem is that we have point number one. Point number two is that our examination system seems to be faulty, in the sense that if a language has got four components, why we examine only one component, that is writing? When an examination takes place, what we usually does is that we examine his writing skill only. Why not speaking? If language has got four components, listening, reading, writing, and speaking, why can't you earmark the marks in four equal parts? Why can't you spare 25% marks for speaking? Let's make the child speak for 12 minutes, per 10 minutes, or per 20 minutes, and see what his speaking capability is. Why can't we read a page for the student and ask him or her how much he or she has understood it? This way we can examine his comprehension. We can understand his listening power. So unless and until we are not going to give the equal status to all the four components of the language, we're not going to produce the good communicators of any language in the world. I hope you will agree with me. If you will not agree with me, I request you to please write down in the comments. Thanks a lot.